guys? I hope you're all doing well. Back with a brand new lesson here. This week we're going to be checking out No Vacation's Yam Yam. If you've never heard of this band before, you've never heard of this song, I highly recommend you give them a check out. I'll have their links in the description for the original music video. Their music is super cool. It's kind of like in the indie, dream pop kind of sound. So the song's not that hard. A couple different parts here, rhythms and leads. So we'll zoom in, we'll break it down. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and give it a thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing, it helps me keep going. And also, I have new videos coming out every single Wednesday. So enough of that, let's zoom in, break it down. Okay, so I'll consider this first part the intro. When you hear the original recording, you'll hear something that sounds like this, that starts it, where it sounds. That part's not too hard or difficult, so let me break that down. And also, as far as tone settings, because I always get a lot of questions on this, I have a little bit of reverb on, and then a little bit of slap back delay. So if I turn my reverb off, this is what my slap back delay would sound like. So, not too much, just a little bit, and then with a little bit of reverb, you get a nice kind of dream pop jangly sound. So the intro part, we're gonna start out here by playing kind of just like, almost like double stops if you will, but arpeggiating them. So we're gonna start out on the 6th fret of your A string and on your 5th fret of your D string. So 6 and 5 on the A and D string. And you're kind of just gonna do this back and forth. So I'm kind of going like 2-2 on the A, so that's kind of your pattern, and then when you speed it up. I'm also using palm muting here. That's really important too. So in order to obtain that sound, we're gonna put like this part of our wrist and back of our hand kind of over the strings, almost like we're cupping them. And that's how you're gonna get that palm muting sound. Now you're gonna take this same exact 2 fingers and you're gonna slide them up, but this time you're gonna be on the 8th fret of your D string and the 10th fret of your A string. So this shape now. And same kind of picking, palm muting. So all together. And that's going to constitute as your kind of your intro. Okay guys, so the really cool part about this song is that it's really not that hard to play when it comes to the rhythm. So there's only 2 chords throughout the entire piece, and they're kind of played intermittently, which means sometimes they're played, sometimes they're not. They also have a keyboard player in their band, so sometimes the keyboard player will fill out some of the chord sounds with when she's playing. But anyhow, the only 2 chords that we're going to deal with today are an E flat major 7 and a G minor. So E flat major 7 is going to be rooted on the 5th string at the 6th fret, and the notes that we're going to have with our fingerings are going to be 6, 8, 7, 8, 6. Nothing on the low E string. And then our second chord, or the last chord, is just going to be G minor. Now you can play a G minor 7, you can play it this way, you can play it this way, whatever you're most comfortable with, but on the recording when I see them play it live, they're playing it this way. And what we're going to be having the entire piece is just kind of that muted down strum that we were doing over here earlier. But now we're going to apply that to the chords. We're going to have 2 bars per chord. So, sounds something like this. I'm also kind of doing some accent beats. That's not necessary. If you want to add them in there, you can, but that sounds like. So I would consider that all the rhythmic parts. Now let me break down the leads. So the lead part that I think is really cool, it's like the fundamental part to the entire song, is something that sounds like. Love that last part. So what we're really dealing with here is we're kind of dealing with like the second extension of the G minor pentatonic. So up in this position. So if you're familiar with your pentatonics, this is what it's really based out of. So we're gonna be starting on the 6th fret of your high E string, and we're gonna go. So we're kind of just doing that little line. So it's gonna be 6 on high E string, 8 on your B string, and then to 6 on your B string, and then you're gonna jump over to the 8th of the G string. So far you're gonna have this. And then you're gonna hammer on between 6 and 8 of your B string. So. And then you're gonna take your middle finger and put that on the D note or the 7th fret of the G string. So that first part. So now, when we get into the second half of it, we're gonna do a double hit on the 6th fret of the E string. So the first part, and then to get back into the second part, so double hit, and then the same exact type of idea, but instead of going to the 7th fret of the G string, we're gonna go all the way up here to the 11th fret of the B string. So that part, all together. So again, that would be 11 to 10. And then it recycles and repeats again. So all together, it's gonna sound like this. Now I'll play it really slow so you can see what my finger's doing, then I'll play it in time. So to end the actual lick, we're gonna do. And you're gonna do a series of these, quarter micro bends, or not quite a half step. I mean, you're kind of getting that half step note, but kind of like that, which is really, really cool. Love that, super badass. Okay, so now in tempo. You can just wail on that. Super, super cool. Love that. Okay, so that again, all together. So on that last part, you're just really just doing those bends. To get it exactly how you'd like to sound on the record, go ahead and listen to the recording, but those are the notes that they are playing in that position. Okay. So now one of the other fundamental parts that you're probably used to hearing is the part that goes. And then it comes in da di da di da di da 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 da. So that's a really, really cool little piece too. So again, remember that all the chords being underneath that are just that E flat major 7 and then that G minor. So what we're doing here is we're actually using some cool little triads. So I was really unfamiliar with this shape until I analyzed it, and I'm like, oh, that's super, super cool. So what we're really doing here is we're up on the 12th fret of the G string, the 11th fret of the B string, and the 13th fret of the E string. Here, I'll try to zoom in a little bit more. So what's super cool about this is essentially a G minor 7 triad. The only thing that it's missing is it's missing the 5th of the chord, but if you know anything about music theory, a lot of the times you can omit the 5th of the chord. But anyway, so this is a G minor 7 triad. So it has the root, the G, the flat 3rd, which is B flat, and the 7th, F note. So that's a G minor 7. Now, the next little shape that we're gonna do is we're gonna do this chord, which is an E flat chord, which is gonna be, it's not a huge difference of a move, but it's gonna be G on 12 and then 11 on B and E. So we're gonna do this mini bar with our first finger and then bring our middle finger over. we're gonna have that shape. So E flat, so far. Oh, not a huge difference. And now the next part is, we can do this little staircase. So this is really based out of an E flat major chord, or an E flat major 7 chord. This is another voicing on how to play it, just like how we play down here. Now we're playing it up here. We're not gonna add our pinky though, so we're just gonna go 10, 11, 12. So from E, B, and G, 10, 11, 12. So far, that's that first part. So now this shape that we learned down here, we're gonna move it down here. So same exact fingers, but now we're gonna be in the 7th position. So 7th fret of your G string, 6th fret of your B string, and 8th fret of your E string. So from here to here, and then this part, so we're gonna strum on that twice, da-da, and then we're gonna do this little double stop. So we're gonna have our ring finger move up to the 10th fret of the high E, and then our first finger is gonna be on the 8th fret of the B. So from here. So really you're just moving the shape up a whole step, and you're just taking your middle finger off. And then you're gonna take that same shape that we learned here and here, and then just pull it down here. Which is gonna be the 5th of the G, the 4th of the B, and the 6th of the high E. So from here, oops. So again. So that's that part that, again, it's kind of like the, it's really the chorus part. I have, again, the lyrics and all the chords printed out. So if you would like that arrangement, I can provide that for you. Again, that's justinhattmusic.com. You can find that on my webpage. Just send me an email to my website, and then I'll send it to you. So again. So I just think that's super, super cool. So you have like a G minor 7 here. You have a D minor 7 here, and you have a C minor 7. So, all together again. Super, super cool. Alright guys, that was the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have other future songs or requests you'd like me to do, feel free to drop them down in the comments below. I'll have all my social medias and everything in the description as always. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you enjoy it. Rock on. No Vacation.